a capital outlay? How about this? You got a bill, it's a budget for a year. You got a certain number of years. The budget's supposed to, have things, benchmarks, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, sometimes 10 years. Got reports, got dates. 120 days after this ends up getting passed, you have a report on something. Then you have a cutoff after 2 years. Then you maybe have an OMB number, expires after 3 years, right? Anyway, when you do that sort of thing, and then you say, we got a program, and that we expect that this program is going to last a certain amount of time, and in this amount of time, we're going to be providing services for people, and we expect that certain number of people are going to meet these benchmarks, and then the availability of their access to that program terms out after a certain amount of time, i.e., welfare reform, right? And then after that, the anticipation is that they would have met certain benchmarks, and so then they're available for something else like workforce training. And then after they've done the workforce training for a certain amount of time, they get employed, and then presumably once they get employed, they end up spending a certain amount of time at their job, and then they retire. Retirement and pension benefits. All of those things have committee assignments for members of the House of Representatives and members of the Senate. All of those things also have state marketplaces. And in the state marketplaces, there's House of Representatives and there's senators. And then there's the president, and then there's the executive cabinet, and then there's the governor, and then he's got the appointment, the commissions and the departments on the state level. Then you got the municipalities, right? And then when you have federal programs that provide specific allocations to states, sometimes they get called pork, but if it's also put through a process where a state comes up with a project and they apply for a grant, and that grant, they have to talk about what they want to do with the program, how many people they think it's going to service, what the terms are, when people max out from being able to access it, and what is supposed to be the projection in terms of indicating what is success as part of that program. Every time you intersect with the government, you are a part of the capital outlay program connected to the very service that you are intersecting with them on. It's simple. You can't dispute that. That's what it is. Now, if you take out a student loan, a federal student loan, and they tell you that they're paying for your education, okay, that's one thing. But if they've already started hedging your education and the success of your education on the various kinds of programs with which you will be intersecting as a result of your performance in school, and then what they anticipate is going to be the either financiability of later efforts or the means by which you can perform in a process of accounting for other liabilities that have accrued because they haven't met certain benchmarks or because they've taken on more obligation than they could fulfill, or something like a crisis happens and then the government has to bail them out. That's not a good faith effort. That is not a good faith engagement in the contract connected to alleging that they've provided you with a federal student loan. If they do not declare to you before you are obligated to that amount of debt as part of the federal capital outlay process that you are already obligated to various forms of financial performance by your, say, for instance, participation in a school district that has ISD bonds that are contingent upon the municipal financing regime. Those are all capital outlay programs. They're in the United States of America, and all of those agencies and all of those programs and all of those financial streams have to answer to the federal government in one manner or another. It's simple. It's irrefutable. All you have to do is understand very basic civics. Do they teach you that at school? Do they teach you that? Well, they didn't let me finish college. That was not the kind of role I was supposed to have at some point in time. Because, well, whatever. I'm just saying, it is. That's exactly what it is. It's a capital outlay process. They don't explain it that way. Maybe that's why we're in debt, right?